Hello, my darlings. Back with another edition of my Nevermore. Today I want to make these faux, sort of antique-looking journaling trifolds to go in here. So let me show you a couple to start off with. I've got that one now, and I use tracing paper to create these. And they've got the most lovely, like, creepily, like, robust feel to them. So wax seal closure on them, and I've just gone in with some grungy papers and a little bit of interest, and I'll show you one more now. I'll tie that back up later, pop it back in to Frank there. And so I've done 6 of these in this video. I do get myself in a bit of a muddle with my stamping and lost my nerves with my stamping platform. Oh, that's upside down. That way it goes. With some grungy paper, some lace-dyed paper, and some wax seal ribbon closures to get tucked away into the Nevermore. So stick around with me. I've got 6 of those to make, and at the very end, I will share my prize contribution to Rachel Miller's 100 Days of Junk Journal Ideas, and I'll share the winner at the end of the video. So thank you, my darlings. I hope you stick around and be back with you in a tick. Right, my darlings, back for a little bit of a crafty session, and I've done a little bit of progress on here. I've been to Craft Club over the weekend, and I got some cutting done there. The pocket here, I've added a few tucks and pockets. I've added the envelope. I think I've done that in the last video. What else have I added in? That pocket I've added on that side. Let's have a look. The coin envelope, I sat in club and did those. And let's have a look. That one I've added and just stuck a little scrappy cluster of fabric on there. Oh, I wanted to ask a question about that after. Write myself a note now. Like some of these little ones from the kit that I sat and just did little collages on. So little sort of bits of snippets. But I've left the quote there, the Poe quote, loose. So it can be pulled out. They're just tucked into place at the moment. Envelopes there. Another one of those little side pockets there. Not much else. Another coin envelope, nothing in there yet. And yeah, I think that's about it. And that witch has gone in there with a bit of scrappy lace on there. And yeah, that's about as far as I've got. And today I want to, as you can see, it's starting to, even just those few in there are starting to give it it's starting to bulk up. So today I've gone back and done 6 more pieces on tracing paper. So these are very, well, not very transparent, but semi-transparent. But I want to make these like faux antique-looking trifold places to journal. So I've gotten those printed and trimmed on tracing paper, feeding it one at a time through my printer. And I got 3 pieces of some lace dyed, tea dyed to back 3 of those, and 3 of my sort of more grungy stencil dies to back 3 of them in. So that's what I'm going to do first, is just, I'm not going to crumple these, I don't think, because I want them flat for journaling. So it's just a matter of getting that glued on in the center and then going back and trimming them. So got a new Oohoo stick out, and I'm just doing it with glue stick. And I need a glue sacrificial something underneath. So glue one side. This is how I did it last time. And then get to those edges just done one half. Line that up. And give it a smooth. And bone folder somewhere. There it is. Oh, I hope everyone out there is doing okay. We had a little bit of a spell of heat here in the UK, but it's cooled off a bit now. I do have a fan running in the background in my craft room, so I'm hoping the noise isn't going to be too imposing on the film. And then go back then and glue the other half. I don't know. I just find doing half first easier when I'm lining it up. Like it's smooth from that direction. And then I've just got to repeat that 5 more times and trim the excess off the edges. Because of course I can't print borderless. So I just need to trim that excess off the edge once that glue stick is dry enough to cut over. So I'm going to go away and do that 5 more times and then pop back on. Back at a tick. Right, my darlings, I've just folded these 2 on camera and the video failed. So let's try it again. So I've done these now. They're backed. I've trimmed all the extra off the edges. And I just want to make these as writing spots or journaling spots inside, and we'll work out the closure after. So no measuring. I've just sort of wrapped them up like that on the table flat and sort of guess where I want my thirds to be. Got it square, and because I do want to put closures on them. And then, like that. Give it a little bit of a crease so it remembers. It has a memory of where it's supposed to be. So, there is my little writing folio. Some of these are directional. Like that way is up, because there is text in the background, ever so faintly. So, it'll open up that way, or that way, either way, and have that writing space inside. But I do believe I want to go and run these through my sewing machine first. So for that, I'll be back with you in a moment. Right, so I've gotten a little bit carried away here. Let me explain. So they're all done. They're all stitched. They've been through the sewing machine. I pulled out my box of, I had some like wax seal furnace and pellets and stamps and things back last Christmas. So these were pre-made. I'd already done those. And I've gone through my sort of basket of tinier bits of lace and trims and chosen some to match these. So they're all different. So I'll show you these. That had some brown sari and that one then to go on this one. So I've done that stitching around in different, I tried to do different stitches on a couple of them. So that is going to be, have a closure attached, your seal there with a bit of ribbon to be wrapped around. So pop these out of the way. Again, with that one, I tried a different stitch. I've got a seal, some string, and I tried that stitch on that one. So quite happy with that. That seal is a little wonky, but never mind. It's going on to that sort of background. So it does look like it's been overheated or burnt a bit. Which is fine because it suits the background. And that I've just done a straight stitch around. And then this one as well. I've got a red seal and a bit of cream lace for the closure, and done that sort of heart, what I think of the heartbeat stitch going around. And that one, I quite like how that one has come out. And to do these, I've got scrap paper, scrap pieces of fabric, I staple them together, then pour the wax on top. So these were done back when I was still experimenting with the wax. So some of them, like I said, overheated, some of them are thicker. It's just working out the right number of wax pellets to go in. So that's got like a dog tooth stitch on it and some ribbon. And then that one is another mixed paper fabric one, some tea-dyed cotton string, and we've got this lovely writing space inside. So let's have a go with this one first. Pull some string out, undo my bundles, because when I tidy up, I poke them all back through with a staple. So work out how much string I want to tie it shut. Say there. And I might go back and add some of the quotes back in onto the internal pages, or I might leave them. I don't know if I go back and do any stenciling or any embellishments inside. I'll leave that decision until later. So I want that going around that side to be tied in the front. So work out how even that is. And then just give it a little bit of glue, really. I don't use hot glue. I used hot glue when I first started junk journaling, and my first ever 2 junk journals I've saved, but I've never used hot glue since. There's a little bit of a modern stamp on that one, but it's a little bit geometric, but I think it'll work for Poe. I'm trying to think. Poe lived from the early 1800s to mid 1800s. So I want to try to keep it, but you've got this supernatural kind of element happening as well. So give that a smush, pin in the glue. Always remember the pin in the glue. And there's one ready to go in. Leave that dry. That can be tied on the other side to keep it closed. But you've got this lovely little writing document to get slipped into the book. So I'm going to leave that there for a moment. And I don't know if you've noticed, I did go back and ink before I stuck them through the sewing machine. And to do that, this cheap tracing paper has got a little bit of a sheen to it. So I went on that side then with Stays On, and I gave a little light brushing on the inside with the VersaFine Claire. So to finish off for tonight, I'll come back tomorrow. I'm just going to go and attach those in the exact same way as I did that, and we'll see tomorrow where they can live in the signatures. So, for you, back in a tick. Right, my darlings, I've sat down here tonight to start playing, and I forgot to put the camera on. So I've had a little bit of a troubleshooting moment with my stamping platform. I've been pulling my hair out here. So I've done the first one here, pulled out some stamps, and I've done sort of a a simple raven in the corner of that one on a pile of books. I'm not going to do much more on the inside than maybe one stamp. And it's just there for, and you've got to include the raven, don't you? Some of these look more like crows than ravens, but never mind. Hey ho. So that one's ready to go. I quite like. That one I had complete perplexed on why this stamp wasn't working. And pulled a test sheet out, and it didn't work there, but it worked there. But what I figured out was I had this, because I've got that wax seal on the back, I had the stamp too close to the outer edge of the stamping platform. And as soon as I moved it inwards, it worked fine. So I've got a little bit of a wonky one there, but wonky comes with the territory, doesn't it? So let's have a go on another one. And just pop a couple of stamps, or one stamp on each one. So I quite like the effect of that one, the way the colors have come out. So let's get another one out, work out which way's up. And I want to try this one here with the hourglass on it. And see if we can get it positioned. Because I want it looking towards the writing. So see if we can get it positioned far enough in, off the board, that I don't interfere with that stamp. That should be okay. Magnet on there. I mean, I could just use an acrylic block, but let's go for this now and see if this one works. Down. Pop my weight on there as well to make sure it doesn't shift. And ink it up with some Nocturne. Get it all over the mat. And when I was trying to work it out before, because I'm sitting down, it's difficult to get pressure from my vantage point without standing up and putting my head between what I'm doing and the camera. And then my head bumps the camera. There we go. A little bit more on the bottom of that detail. And cross your fingers. And here goes. So give it a little bit of a push all the way around. And because these are quite detailed stamps, that's why I got the stamping platform out rather than using the acrylic block. And it is easier sometimes to stand up and give it some welly, as they say in Britain. Give it a bit of oomph. Now, fingers crossed. Let's see. No. It's missed out the inside of the bird. The bottom has come out neat. Let's give it a little bit more. Try a brayer. Oh, I know why again. I think I know. I think that magnet is too close to that end. And it's not making full contact. Let's try that. Please be why. Sometimes I can use this stamping platform time and time again and I'll have 1 ounce of trouble and then all of a sudden I got no end of trouble. And I'm wondering if that's the culprit. Cross fingers. No, I'm still missing the inside of my bird. Why? Oh, I don't want to move it now. And I don't think it's the tea-dyed paper, whereas that other one was a more grungy coffee stain. So I thought, is the stain causing a sort of resist to the ink? Nope, I'm still missing the inside of the bird. Oh, my word, boys and girls. And the ink is still on the stamp. Try to shift a couple of these magnets, see if that makes a difference. That's still closer to the edge, but we'll see if it makes a difference. Nope. The only other thing I can think of is to give that a rub with a rubber. I've heard that works. Try that now, and be careful not to move the platform. I've heard this before, because it is a relatively new stamp. Cheap ones they are that I've had off Amazon with a bit of mad money. Now let's try it again. And if it all goes sideways, just keep going until I figure out what the culprit is. And if not, I'll ditch the platform and use a block and see what happens. Any of you others out there, stampers, have any words of advice? Come on. Let's move that, actually. Away from that edge again. Don't click together. Don't click together. There we go. And cross fingers. And I know I've got the platform the right way up. It does have the clear up. Or has it been put on upside down? I don't know. Now, come on, please. No. I'm still missing the inside of the bird. Right. My darlings, I won't make you watch me struggle. I'm going to pause it here a second and see if I can puzzle out what is going wrong. Because that is so lovely and clear at the bottom. It's just the feathers that are missing now. So right, I'm going to pause there and I'm going to have a fiddle. I'll be back. Right, after some fiddling, I managed to get most of the bird to stamp. There's a little bit of a sort of ghosty white piece in there, but that's fine. And the bottom has come out lovely and detailed. I really like that. So, no, I'm happy with that. The platform's going for tonight. I've lost patience with it now. So let's pop him away, or her, as the case may be. And get the other ones out and some blocks. So pop this platform under here somewhere. Oh, throw things around the room then, why don't you guys? There we go. All I did was go back with the rubber and just sort of really work the rubber a bit, and I think that did help. I've got one here on books, which I've done. I've done the skull, I've done the hourglass. There's some smaller ones here. I've got some spider webs, bottles. I quite like that spider web. I think that's a Lavinia one. Let's pop that one on one of them. And I've got a text one behind me as well. Let's have a look. Spider web on that one, I think. So, and just put a couple in the corners. One of these has got spider web on the inside. I think it was one of the other ones, though. Which way's up? That way's up. So let's put that corner. Shall we put it on? I don't think it'll stamp flat on that corner because of the seal on the other side. I should have stamped beforehand. Let's put it down on that corner. On a bottom corner or a top corner? I quite like the bottom corner on that because it's sort of opposite that radiating bit of lace there. Let's try that. I need the other one. That big one. I love the Lavinia stamps. I've only got a couple, but the quality of them are just mad. Lavinia's on my to-do list the next time I manage to make a trip up to North Wales for sure. I've seen their refit of the new shop and it looks amazing. Love, 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 love Lavinia stamps. Put that down there. Give it a bit of welly. This is like a really thin acrylic one, but it's large, but it's not as thick as these. And I found this in a crafty stash sale, and it's quite handy actually for its size, because you can arrange lots of smaller stamps on there and lift them at once. Now, moment of truth. Yes, I quite like that. Lovely and crisp. And you could then even go back with a really nice fine liner and sort of connect that web to the stitching. I might do that later on off camera. So you could go back with like a uni pin and connect those lines down to the stitching. That would be lush. Right, put this away and do two more. Pop that away. I do have another Lavinia corner over here. That might be nice on that one. What's on the inside of these? That bloodstained one needs a little something else. This one is, that's lace. That one's more grungy. Let's try that other Lavinia. Oh, and it's that sort of corner. And put it, yeah, again on that bottom corner or top corner, because you've got that sort of grungy stencil thing going on. Yeah, top corner. On there. Stop that from moving about. Is that going to fit on there? Only just. And it up. The Lavinia stamps are really thick silicone. And so detailed. There we go. Just turn this around so I can position myself so I can get a little bit of pressure on it. Stay down, please. And then walk around the stamp. So now I have no idea what direction this thing is going. Stamp these last two, tie them up, and then I'll get the Nevermore out signatures, find a place for them to live in, and then I'll announce the winner of the Junk Journal Idea prize at the end. I've got it ready just behind me. So, please, it worked. Ready? And, ooh, I like that. That's just sort of floating. I could have gotten that much closer to the stitching, but that's okay. Get this popped away. Got the fan going behind me. I'm absolutely melting in this room tonight. And it's not that warm out at all. I do have the window open. So, one more. Which way's up? That way's up. And what else do I have over there? Should we just put some text on that one? Or a poison bottle? No, I'm not fussing with the little ones. Yes, let's just put some text on that one. Tim Holtz. And I'm not going to fuss with that one at all. I'm just going to randomly hit it around the corners. Maybe a little bit there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. A little bit of text and call that done. So clean this up. I'm going to clean this up, get all my stamps out the way, tie these back up, and find the Nevermore signature somewhere in this chaos around me at the moment. So now I'm inky, and I've gotten it on the desk. Oh, what a mess. Oh, but I do love the mess. So I've got some text on that one, and blood and lace, and then I've got that corner on that one, a spider web onto the bottom corner of that one, that raven, and there were two other ravens there. So I'm going to get these wrapped up, put my stamps away. I'll be back in a tick. Right, my darlings, let's see where these can fit. Let's do just one signature at a time, because I want two in each signature, because these wax seals are going to bulk it out a bit. So I definitely want one here in Frank, and I think I'm going to go with the one that's got the most green, with that rose on the front. So let's pop that one in there, and then one more in this signature, and I think it's going here. I'm going to take that letter out and put something else into that long, skinny tuck. Maybe that, no, because that's the same pattern. I want something different. Orange. That sort of spider web type effect on there. That can get tucked in there. So there's two in that signature. I'll put that back towards the back. Will it fit anywhere? It won't fit in those because it sticks out the top. That's a no. That's a no right now. They can always be moved after the fact, and that's going to be too short. So let's pop it in here for the moment. Yes. And then second signature is here. And again, I'm saying first, second, and third, and I may completely change the order of these before I even get to the binding side. That's going to be too short, because I can always add ones to accommodate these. And in there. Yes, in there with one. Teal maybe. Here. And if they end up being too bulky, I might take a couple of them out. What about in there? one? Oops, it's upside down. Yes. So that's that one. And that last one, 2 more. Where can they live? No, that's the tuck on the other side. Again, let's take these out. I can rehome those later. That one? Oh, that one. That one. Nice long one in there. And somewhere else. Oh. Yes, that is right. And then that flaps out that way. That can go in the top of that. No, it can't. It's too short. It sticks out the top. That one maybe? Yes. So, there are my 3 signatures. And already we're starting to get a bit of size here. And a bit of chunk. So, happy with that. If you stuck with me this far, thank you ever so much. So, that's progress on the Nevermore. Thank you ever so much to my subscribers. If you're out there watching, you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. Think about hitting subscribe. It really does help. And last announcement now, I took part earlier in Rachel Bella's 100 Days of Junk Journal Ideas. And that's how quite a few of you have probably found me, was through that collaboration. So the prize that I've contributed to the collaboration was a selection of napkins or serviettes for decoupaging. So the winner was Tanya Gresham 9764, has won a bundle of a selection of napkins for mixed media and artwork. So I'll give you a quick pick. I've got them all bundled up, ready to go. There's about 40 in here, and there's 1 of each. So lots of different styles. There's lots of different colors, shapes. There's several different shaped ones in here. So yes, so Tanya, please, if you see this or see the post over at Rachel Bella's also put a video up with the winners on there. Please give me a shout out. You can email me through my YouTube channel email, which is in my description up above, faithandgrits@gmail.com, I believe it is. Or if you find me in the Rachel Bella group, you can message me through there as well. So congratulations, and hope to hear from you soon. So for all of you others, happy crafting, everyone, and hope to see you back again soon. Bye for now.